Well, I got my scooter tire fixed finally, and it turns out I'm a moron because it's a tubeless tire. Yeah, so I tried to laugh at myself about that, but the scooter's up and running. So, of course, I've been out running around town, moving my truck around, and for this diary entry, I hope there even ends up to be a point. My mind is it's just all over the place today. You know, I think nobody cares, and I'm not talking just about myself. It's not like a pity thing. I think in general people don't care. I don't care if you're talking about family, friends, strangers. I think ultimately everyone is selfish. Now, I don't mean to state the obvious there. Probably anybody who listens to channels who discuss that kind of stuff, it just looks like I'm behind the curve. But I'm just saying, out of experience and watching other people and seeing other people's, I don't think anybody cares. I think ultimately, when push comes to shove, you are on your own in every conceivable way. And I think that altruism just almost really does not exist. There's rarities. There are those people out there. They do exist, but they are few and far between. It seems like there's the incapability to understand what kindness and cruelty are. That sometimes being kind is not kindness at all. It's cruel. You just enable someone to continue to do whatever it is that's causing whatever problems that they have. And cruelty works the opposite. You think you're helping them and saving them from something, but ultimately what you're doing is keeping them from learning probably a really important lesson in responsibility or whatever the circumstances are. Yeah. So we have new neighbors, which I think I touched on in my first video, which is why I keep moving my truck all over town. And I don't understand the law. It seems like the people who commit crimes, the things that happen that are the reasons that laws are enacted. It seems that the same people that cause the laws to come about are the people that the laws protect. And the people who are innocent are assumed to be the criminals. And again, maybe this is just my universe, and this is just a personal rant. But anybody who has different experiences or whatever, I'm more than open to find out, because I spend a lot of time alone. I really am a loner, but regardless of that, I spend a lot of time alone. So you looking inward all the time isn't always a positive thing. It does give you kind of a weird skew on the rest of the world. So anybody who has different experiences or whatever, I'm more than open. I found it really interesting to find out after my first video, though, that I'm not the only one that feels like I'm fighting everything. So I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but I have to admit, selfishly, it feels good to not be alone. And also it kind of affirms that I do have a little bit of a grip on what's going on outside of myself. But these people, these new neighbors, it isn't just normal bad neighbors. These people, they abuse their animals. It's been posted on Facebook. Nobody cares. They make threats of shooting other people's pets. They have threatened to shoot my son. And my son's never even like spoken to him, ever. My son will take off sometimes and walks across the street to the grocery store. We've had things stolen, we've got vandalism, all the way down to the most petty things you wouldn't imagine that someone is over the age of 12 does. Like if you walk by them, they make all kinds of terrible comments, just to be aggravating, just to aggravate you and so forth. And so I just came from the police station after checking on the truck. And I also, by the way, filled out an application to move. So there's not a lot of places to live where I am, which is why I'm sitting there. Oh, here comes a school bus. I went to the police station and found out that I am not the one who can file the report. I found out the police have been over there several times. The responsibility ball bounces back and forth between the police and the property manager. And the property manager basically avoids everyone. So I pretty much told her that this is what's happening. This is how it applies to the renters' rights laws. And this is what I'm going to do. So all of a sudden it gets really quiet over there for a little while. But I think really it's an illusion because the leader of the gang, if you will, hasn't been around. So I'm kind of hanging tight to see what happens. But I also did some digging on the people who own the property, which, surprise, surprise, is an equity firm, which is, boy, is that another video. But, you know, David and Goliath. And doesn't bother me one bit to be the one standing outside the crowd. Everybody's throwing rocks at me. Meanwhile, what I'm doing is also fighting for them. So I guess I'll be out there. Maybe my neighbors will sign on with me. I don't know. So yeah, I am all over the place today. I don't know which thing to worry about or to obsess about. I said something stupid here or there, or I'm sure you guys, you've been there. Anyway, I hope I can look back at this video in the future and go, oh, I'm so glad I'm not living that anymore. Anyhow, it's a beautiful day today. And so I was able to come to the park because it wasn't so windy that you couldn't hear me for the wind blowing on the microphone. And I need to do a video about B. That'll be a lot shorter than the one about Albert. So anyway, thank you for listening if you did. And yeah, to my future self, I sure hope you're sitting in a better place while you re-listen to this. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.